Hi everyone, I'm Cullen Haynes and this is Law Live. Have a very special treat for you today. I've got two powerhouses of law I'm about to join in very soon. We've got Perpetua Kish, also known as Pepe Kish from Balance Family Law. How are you, Pepe?
I'm good, Cullen. I'm just trying to, you might hear that noise because I'm trying to turn off my email. 1 second.
That is okay. And we'll also have Lara Wentworth from Coaching Advocates, one of the founders, previously lawyer and partner at Madison Marcus. So we're excited to have Lara join us as well. But Pepe, tell me what is happening in the New World Order with your good self.
Oh, wow. What isn't happening, Cullen? Well, we are just getting slammed at Balance. So my firm, Balance Family Law firm in the ACT. So we're very excited about our new lawyer starting in a couple of weeks and another team member starting in a week after that. So that'll help. Yeah, we're growing the team and we're really looking forward to it so we can get more stuff done.
Pepe's firm getting pumped up, it sounds like, if you mind the alliteration. It's fantastic to see. And we've also got Lara Wentworth joining from Coaching Advocates. How are you, Lara?
Good. How are you?
Very
my husband
good.
thought I was saying hello to him. Hello, honey.
Hi, honey. We're just on a stream, so don't come in the background. Make sure you're wearing a towel, and let's make sure keep it G-rated. Absolutely.
My friend walks in his undies, so please don't.
Very good.
Hi, Lara. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. I was just complaining that I'm a bit tired, and I'm relying on the two of you to invigorate me and pump me up. And
no problems. I'm standing. I'm a standing desker today.
standing desker.
I'm a standing
Good on
desker.
you. And Mina Abel Sayed says, hello all, how are you all? So I think he's directing that to you, Lara. We haven't heard. What is going on in your circle of influence?
What is going on, my friend? What is not going on? It is Crazyville. So, yeah, lots of stuff happening with Coaching Advocates. He is walking in here. Lots of... we are live. We're live.
We are literally live. We can't edit that out, unfortunately, Mr. M.
Shut her up. See, do you see the circus that I have to live in? Like, honestly, do you feel sorry for me? Anyway, as I was saying before I was really interrupted, we've got lots of things happening in Coaching Advocates. We've got, we're working with a lot of firms, doing a lot of coaching, training, speaking, getting some pretty, nice jobs all around the world dealing with lawyers. So I think you and I like lawyers, Cullen.
We love lawyers, in fact.
Lawyers.
I got taught this back in the banks on a graph of trust to likability. Us bankers and lawyers and everything are in the lower left-hand quadrant. And for some reason, everyone loves their accountant. And it's just bizarre. I want to change that paradigm there, Lara and Pepe.
Yeah, fair enough. I think so too. I think it's about time.
Yeah,
no,
I
absolutely.
think so. In fact,
you think so, Pepe? Tell us.
One of our lovely legal consultants, our lawyers who works with us at Balance, she actually used to be a nurse. So her name's Claire Jobson, and nurses are the number one trusted profession. So we're hoping that she can bring a bit of that to the law. She definitely does at Balance. So
wouldn't it be cool to be a trusted profession?
Oh, that would be
nice. As lawyers, that would be nice.
No one being skeptical, taking your word face value, no double check-in shopping, like you entrust this person implicitly.
How good would that be? How much easier would our job be?
But talking about nurses, you both have great bedside manners, and part of the reason you're so successful, I'd say, is the fact that you are very empathetic. I'd love to, delve into that as we enter what's going to be a very challenging time with rates going up, the cost of living going up. Both your respective companies definitely assist people with that. I'd love to, starting with you, Pepe, like Balance Family Law, how are you finding your clients and the current climate, especially in the realm of family law at Balance?
Well, there's always a high degree of uncertainty in family law, and it's something that we have to do or work with our clients to get comfortable with that uncertainty, because when you're separating, you only have control over your actions. You don't have control over what the other person is doing or what their lawyer is doing. So really the added layer of uncertainty that we now have, given our current climate with the interest rates and, you know, house prices just going all over the place, it just really adds an extra level to that. So keeps us, you know, on top of working with our clients to be comfortable with that level of uncertainty and what they can do within their control to ease those feelings.
Absolutely. I'm endeared by what you're saying. I think you're trying to, I guess, give a level of predictability to the unpredictability in these times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Coaching Advocates, Lara, tell us more about that and how, I guess, what you're doing at the moment is really helping the mental health of, I guess, seasoned professionals in this current time.
Absolutely. So, you know, talking about uncertainty, and we know that lawyers don't like being uncertain. They want to know what's happening. And so having uncertainty can be really rattling for a lot of lawyers and can really affect their mental health, you know, when they feel out of control, when they don't know, you know, what to do next. So, you know, coaching is such a powerful way to really get people back in charge of their minds and their thoughts and therefore their results. I don't know how many times I've said this to people, and every time I say it, it's just rings so true for me. Coaching is such an investment in yourself. You know, Cullen, you do a lot of loans around investments, you know, and this is going to pay you back and this is not. And I can tell you that coaching is one of probably the most secure investment you can make, because it will pay dividends over and over and over again forever, you know. So what we're doing with in the individual coaching space at the moment is super exciting. We're working with a lot of people at different levels. Sorry about my bird. He missed the memo about us going live today. So he's a bit loud. I apologise. It's a circus. I told you. It's a zoo as well.
He needs coaching. He needs coaching.
Coaching. And I forgot what I was saying. So what I was saying is that, so working with, can you remind me? Can someone remind me what I was saying?
I think that uncertainty, lawyers' uncertainty and coaching advocates, kind of, especially in this market, gives you that kind of certainty. And it's an investment in yourself.
It's an investment. That's what I was saying. So it's an investment in yourself that will continue to pay dividends. And that's right. We're working with a lot of lawyers on the individual level, you know, in many different levels. So right from junior lawyers, so really fresh, kind of green or whatever you want to call them, to help them build some really good habits and ways of doing work, so that they sort of get off on the right foot, on a good start, and right through to, you know, senior associates who are looking to go into partnership, partners who are trying to make, you know, make it a success, and people moving into sole practitioner or starting up their own firms. We do law really well as lawyers, but I don't think we do the other stuff as well. We don't do the human stuff well. We don't do the communication stuff well. We don't do the mental health stuff well. And so that's where we come in and we help you develop those skills.
I love it. And I love what you're talking about. I guess not calling out any particular firms here, but, you know, that mental health aspect, and firms try and do well and do what they can, I guess, on the face value. But like let's have a breakfast at 6:30 in the morning and talk about work-life balance. You know, like it's just cognitive dissonance. Some of these things that you see these firms do.
Unfortunately, it is a bit of a tick box thing for some firms where they just talk about it and they might get someone in to talk about it, and there you go. You know, we've addressed that. Now let's go back into business as usual and do the things that we've always done. But, you know, there's more and more firms actually doing something, which is exciting. You know, so there's more firms changing their policies around mental health and well-being days and all sorts of other things, and actually changing the way they work, not just talking about it. But we needed to start talking about it at some point. I think we've been talking about it for a while, and now it's starting to slowly but surely be implemented.
Of course. And you mentioned, we got Pascal joining from Indonesia, and Ramesh is saying, where are we based? We're in Australia, Ramesh. You're in USA, it looks like 1:38 a.m. in Washington. Thanks for tuning in. And Tanya said he's a very noisy bird, laughing emoji. And a big wave.
It's real life here.
It's real life. Well, this is Law Live, raw, real, unfiltered.
Absolutely.
Birds and towels thrown at Lara, including. Now, Look, I've heard stories about partners in firms sitting at their desks. I've talked to a few that just like start shaking at their desk. It's obviously happens at the higher end of law, but let's talk about graduates and those entering the profession. There's this notion of faking it till you make it, and trying to be something you're not. I'd really love to delve into that and unpack that. And do we need to fake it till we make it, ladies? Do we need to put that kind of pressure on people? What do you reckon, Pepe?
Well, I think first of all, we need to really unpack what faking what you make it actually means, because it's one of those phrases that is sort of trotted out everywhere, and then somewhere the meaning is there or lost even. So presumably, faking it till you're making it is sort of a euphemism for presenting as confident, accomplished, self-assured, all of those kind of things, where you just win someone's confidence. But confidence, in my opinion, isn't always about what you know, but it's about an enthusiasm and a willingness to know more. And I like to give this example because it's a very real example for us at Balance, and it was when we put out expressions of interest for paralegals to start working with us last year. So I put something on LinkedIn. It wasn't an official ad. It was just like, hey, we're probably looking at expanding our team. Tell us why we should choose you. And we got over 50 EOIs. And, the ones that really stood out to me weren't necessarily the ones with these really long and, amazing CVs where they'd gotten really high grades and the like. But the ones that stood out was where I got a really strong sense of self from them, and their passion and their energy. And from the few that we interviewed, the two lovely girls that ended up nabbing the roles weren't necessarily the most polished and accomplished. They were all of those things. But what stood out for those two is that they were wide-eyed, and they were curious, and they were earnest, and they were enthusiastic, and they had lots of questions for us. Now, that energy cannot be faked. And it's driven by curiosity, and it's driven by that real, tangible, palpable authenticity. So when you're talking about faking it till you're making it, it really comes down to, I think, listening, looking at the world around you, getting off yourself, getting over yourself, and what can you learn from the outside world, and what enthusiasm do you have for that learning?
I think it's great that we call it what it is and actually spell it out. Really appreciate those insights, Pepe. Lara, same question. What do you think about this faking it till you make it?
It's a really good question. And I think that I actually think you can't fake it until you make it. And I mean, on a simple, let's just talk real kind of simple, basic things. Like if I was to fake a smile, right, eventually my face will be like, oh, you're smiling, and will send happy hormones into my body, and I'll be actually smiling. I can do that. I can fake that until I make a smile. But what we see a lot of people, especially juniors, is faking this expert. I'm an expert. I can go in there. I can have the confidence. I can do all of that sort of stuff, hoping that one day they'll make it. But what happens, and we get this a lot in coaching, is that there's a belief somewhere in the model of the world system. There's a belief somewhere that says, you'll never make it. So you can fake it all you like, but you'll never get there, And then this imposter thing pops in, imposter syndrome comes in, and all of a sudden this graduate is now 40. I'm only speaking from experience. Is now 40 and is still going, one day I'm going to make it if I just keep faking it. One day I'm going to be the expert that I've been faking I've been all this time. So I actually don't believe you can fake it till you make it, unless if there is a belief that says you'll never make it, this is just a facade, this is just for show. So I much rather, like Pepe was saying, more authentic and genuine love for learning and enthusiasm to learn. So rather than being a fake expert, if so to speak, I'd rather be a genuine novice. I'd rather be an authentic learner, someone who says, I actually don't know, and I'm willing to learn. And that you can definitely build on. That you can definitely change. And if there's a belief in there that says anything different, like you'll never learn or any of that crappy stuff that I don't want to put out into the quantum field, then that is something that maybe also needs to be changed as well to allow you to be all you can be.
I love that. It's been vulnerable almost, and just calling out the fact that you aren't something. I think David Goggins talks about that as well. Just call it as it is. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm a work in progress. That's where we need to be. Yeah, I'm working. Definitely. I love that. Tanya's just said, well said, Pepe. Curiosity and energy wins every time. And Ramesh says, how are we both? And I think we're all very well. But a nice little segue into, we talk about being vulnerable. And I think both of you, Pepe and Lara, talked about that being someone that you're not the imposter. Let's talk about the imposter syndrome. Are we fostering a culture that is making people feel like they're imposters, or that you have to, do you know that it's fostering that kind of mindset? I'd love to get your thoughts. What do you reckon, Lara, on that point?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, well, I want to change it up. I wanted to keep you guessing. It's all about predictability and unpredictability.
So now I don't get to think about the question. Okay.
I know, you were relying on Pepe there.
So that's why I'm standing up, see, so I can think on my feet. Anyway, so look, I think in a way, the culture of, and Pepe, please chime in anytime you feel like I'm going off on a tangent. You can reel me back in. I feel like the culture of the legal profession traditionally does kind of foster a bit of an imposter, the need to be the imposter. We come through the ranks. When we come out of university, I don't know about you, Pepe, but when I came out of university, I had people come say, so you're a lawyer now, so you must know about trusts and equity and criminal and contract, and I'm getting a divorce and blah, blah, blah. And I remember that thought of, maybe I should know everything, but I don't. So what's wrong with me? I better pretend like I do know everything. And then you go into law firms and it's like, oh, you're a lawyer now, you now should be able to, unpack this file and tell me where, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so there's more of that internal thoughts about, maybe I should know. And so we keep sort of going through being reinforced by the external environment that we should know more than what we do know. And so what then happens, something crazy happens with the imposter syndrome. And I think the reason why we have so much of it, especially in the legal profession, is that we focus so much on all the things that we still don't know, and we attach our identity internally, at least, to that. And so when you focus on all the things that you don't know, and that list could be miles, like I don't know what I don't know. There's probably lots of things, heaps of things I don't know, right? But if I focus my identity on that, then I'm going to feel like an imposter every single day because I don't know everything. And the reality is nobody does. So we're not really encouraged, I guess, to, maybe I'm wrong, but I'd like to be challenged on this. It's not a culture that fosters knowing what you know as being enough, or knowing what you know as being good enough, or what you know is going to, make you the expert. It's always about, no, you got to know more, you got to know more. So if we did more of that as a profession, we may not have so many people feeling like they're a fish out of water and they just will never know what they need to know. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
No, I think so. You got something to piggyback on that, Pepe?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we need to shift the focus by placing value not on what we don't know, but in our passion for knowing more. And I think two things come up with this imposter syndrome. I think it's tied very much into the lawyer's desire to be perfect, perfectionist tendencies, okay? And I want to make a distinction here because it comes back to a book that I loved when I was, I didn't love it. I didn't understand it. I was in primary school and it was called What's the Biggest Room in the World? But I'll get back to that in a minute. But it's perfection. And I think we need to swap out perfection for something else, improvement. So perfection, I say, punishes, improvement rewards. So back to that book that I read when I was in primary school, What's the Biggest Room in the World? Is the room for improvement. So I think
Ooh,
I like it.
Got chills, Pepe, chills.
But rather than us, we're inclined to want to improve, okay? And then that gets sort of mixed up with this whole perfectionist bullshit, really. Okay, so if we rather shift lanes to move in that improvement mindset, so constantly improving, then we're more happy, it feels easier and more comfortable to sit in that growing phase or stage. So it's that there's no real destination. It's an ongoing journey. Maybe we need to look at it that way, and we won't so much feel like it's not what we don't know. It's what we're learning along the way. With every day, with every connection, there's a new experience. And that's something I really want to highlight, because something I found particularly in my neck of the woods in the ACT is people sort of like to, Canberra's known to be quite cliquey, and you like to stay in your little circles, and you visit Canberra. Do you feel this way as well? But you need,
no comment.
Go out of Canberra, build connection, and then come back almost. So I think it's about, don't limit yourself. Improvement is not just about increasing your skills and your knowledge about legal principles and, you know, what everyone else is doing in Adelaide at the Family Law Conference at the moment. It's also about improving and fostering that mindset. I'm not making it.
No, shout out to everyone at that conference. I'm sure they're having a fabulous time.
FOMO, serious FOMO. But what I'm saying is they coexist. Mindset, skill set, they coexist, and we shouldn't try and compartmentalize. The learning journey involves IQ, EQ, and a lot of that is connecting with us and what we can learn from others.
No, it makes sense. And I love those points there, ladies. And feel free, anyone watching, this is a live, so please feel free to put in questions, comments and things, because we can address them in real time. And Ramesh has said, I love the improvement concept rather than the perfection idea. I think that's really good. It almost goes hand in hand with that appreciation over expectation that I think Tony talks about, Tony Robbins, who you're a big follower of as well there, Lara, as well.
Yep. Trade your expectations for appreciation.
Love that.
I think is what he says.
It's taking me back to a year 12 question. I used to get chills as well thinking about it. I'm getting PTSD. In English, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Please extrapolate that and talk about that. And I'm like, oh God, how do we do that? But it is right. Like all these years, I can still remember it. It's still such a valid concept. Now, I think this is an interesting segue. It is awards season. How much of this imposter syndrome, self-validation comes into things like, and shout out to Jerome and Will McGee for Momentum Media, the Lawyers Weekly Awards. It's a genius system where we play into people's need to feel like they want to, that validation in the awards. I'd love to really talk to that there, Pepe, if you know where I'm leading with that sort of thing.
Well, as you know, I have a bit of experience in this awards area as someone who's put in for awards and someone who has judged awards. And I find it a very complex beast, and also something that I think we tend to overthink. So first, about the complex beast, why do people, put in for awards? My first experience is that I had a negative experience, actually. So in 2020, when our firm was just over a year old, Jonathan and I decided we'd put in for an Australian Law Award, and we ended up winning Boutique Law Firm of the Year. Now, not many people know this story, but what actually prompted us to apply for that award was a very negative experience. It was an experience where we felt that knowledge and things that we had been created had been sort of used without our consent. It's a long story, but anyway, rather than respond in this negative way, we kind of repurposed a lot of that energy and that passion for what we were doing into this award application. And what happened? The awards. And then subsequent to that, after you've won an award, particularly if you win it very early on, and look, we've won, in fact, a lot of awards, over 25 awards since we started 3 years ago. And there's this, it's quite exhausting. So I took a bit of a break this year, or so I thought, because then they said, would you like to judge? So I'm like, I can't escape it, But judging has actually, no, I love it. I absolutely love judging, because curiosity, again, I'm very curious about what makes other lawyers interested and what drives them. What do they put in their applications? What do they value? What do they see as important, and what is worthy of recognition on a national level? So it was really interesting to see the awards and see what people value. And, you have to remind me what the question is, because I feel like...
No, it does...
I said complex and then you overthink it. So there you go. Exactly what I'm doing. I'm going through like all these reasons. At the end of the day, an award is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to get your name out there. And if you're smart, you will use that award not only to self-promote, but also to use that position of privilege to go back down and think of all the issues and struggles and challenges that you faced and see what you can do to correct them. And that is something I'm so passionate about. I see award winning as a huge responsibility. You can go and hold it for yourself, or you can go and make the world a little better than the way you found it.
I love that idea. It's so powerful, Pepe. Thank you for that. Lara, what's your take on the awards and award season and that kind of,
Look, it's not too different to Pepe's take on it. I mean, look, at a basic human level, we all have the need to feel significant. And when we win awards, we feel significant. And so that fulfills that human need. So there's and it's not a bad way to fulfill that need. Sometimes people can do really crappy things to fulfill their need for significance, whereas this could be a really good way, especially if you then use it to help other people somehow. I've seen some people win awards and really go on to do some really amazing things with it. What those awards mean for what they do next is that people have trust in them, and they're more credible, and so they will, they can benefit people, impact people in a more significant way than if they tried to do it without an award. But does it really change who they are? Does it make what they do more valuable? Does it make them something extra special than the person next to them who didn't win the award? I'm not sure, but it definitely does do something on that level of significance and validation, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of people say, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I mean, like I said, there are other ways to get validation and other ways to get significance that is probably a lot, worse than getting awards. So I really think it is a responsibility. It's like, when Miss Universe wins and then she's got to do all these things afterwards. And she's got to wear the crown for a year and all these other things. I wouldn't know. I'm just guessing. I've seen a few. But,
world peace.
But there are some responsibilities that come with winning, and if you're just using it to self-promote, that's fine. That's your thing. If you're doing something else with it, then not only is it fulfilling your need for significance, but it's also fulfilling your need for, Cullen, contribution,
which is another human need, which I'm pretty sure is right up there with self-actualization as well, that need for contribution. I think you're both of the similar mindset, though, that, and I guess playing devil's advocate, if you're doing it for the need to make yourself feel good, it can be dangerous if you need that validation all the time. It's like Wayne Dyer's story when his young girl, when she was about 5 or 6 years old, came home very angry that she didn't get a star from the teacher, and was handing out gold stars for those that were doing the best work. And he sat down and said, you know what? The reason why your teacher gave those stars out is because maybe that little boy or girl needed that star. And so the next time she went to school and the teacher gave her the star, she said, look, you don't need to give that to me, miss. Give it to someone who needs that kind of thing. And, I just wanted to put that question out there. Can it get dangerous, that need for validation, if you need it all the time?
Definitely. I think so. Pepe, you go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even now I'm thinking, do I put in, some people say I'll put in for this award, and it's almost like, can I live without awards now because they've been part of my culture and my firm's culture for such a long time? It feels like something's missing. And Cullen, you too have won lots of awards and you're really active. Look, putting it this way and to lighten this topic a little bit, it's a really good opportunity to network and party as well.
Who doesn't like that? We sent 2 of our brokers to the Australian Law Awards. They had a great time with the lawyers there.
I had a great time at the Partner of the Year Awards. Lara and I had a penthouse suite at the start.
Woo! I saw the photos.
It was great. I think I took photos that showed up on too many people's social media. No, it's so much fun. And after, COVID and us not being able to get out, it's just been a really good opportunity. So, I'm thinking, maybe I do that at Wood so I can go to that really great party at the end of the year.
I love the mindset. I think that's so good. Using it as a way to network, I think that's really cool. One thing I know is for sure, the night after an awards, there's two things that happen. I'm going to be seeing some #humbled, #teamwork posts on the LinkedIn, which I absolutely love. And I definitely do the same when we win those. I'd love to talk about, ladies, if you've got some time, things that you've done outside your comfort zone yourselves that other people maybe don't know about you, that like they'd have to know you for years to know. Is there anything that you've done there, Pepe, that's taken you out of your comfort zone that many people don't know about?
I know where you're going. Actually,
I was waiting for this.
That was my full comfort zone. So to everybody who's watching, I used to be, or I was a wannabe actress, and I did quite a bit of stuff on the stage, and I also did a few film things, which Cullen has watched with some of his staff, I believe. Anyway,
it's still on stream in the office right now. They're watching it.
Oh no! So look. What do I do out of my comfort zone?
Yes.
So I made a movie, which back then was the comfort zone. I was increasing my comfort zone. So yeah, it was obviously never done a feature film before, had an opportunity to do one. It was a tremendous flop, but it was a lot of fun, and I wish I could get back into it. I just need to somehow find the time, because I'd love to sort of, our good friend barrister Darren Mort, he still managed to dabble in that world. So I have to pick his brain. Maybe you need to get him on here. And
he won an award last weekend.
He's barrister of the year. I had a coffee with him just before.
Shout out to Darren.
He does. Yeah, so maybe he'd be a good person to get on here and ask how he's able to straddle those two worlds. Because I think he still does like amateur theatre and stuff in addition to producing.
He does it all. He writes books and things. I think also too, Pepe, you got to be prepared that people in your field of law may not like the fact that you're not fully devoting your time to law. And I know Darren will talk about it when he's on this show, is the fact that you have those other interests. And I think it's great to have those other interests. It doesn't make you a bad lawyer not to be fully in the law all the time.
No. So when, we're talking about awards before, and the award that I wanted to win when I was young was I say Oscar, that was probably in high school, but in primary school it was a Logie. I wanted to win Most Popular New Talent. I thought, I'm going to win that one day. Instead, I had to make do with Sole Practitioner of the Year or whatever it was.
Just as important.
Yeah, but I was thinking the other day, just when you're having random thoughts, I was driving along in the car and I was listening to a music and I thought, imagine if I was like winning an Oscar. And then I flashed forward to imagining, television interviews and things like that with me as Oscar winner. And one of the things is like, you have a law firm. And I was like, yeah, I still run my law firm. And they're like, oh, really? Why? And I'm like, I just do. And so I completely saw myself straddling those two worlds and being able to do them both well.
Wow, amazing. All starts with a dream.
It all starts with the dream. Begin with the end in mind.
A daydream while you're driving, a bit dangerous, but okay.
No, please do not operate heavy machinery while you're having this dream. And Lara, same question to you, my friend. What is something that's taken you out of your comfort zone that not many people know about you?
I'm pretty, traditionally I've been a safe operator, but I have to say ever since I took the massive leap and plunge of changing careers, that's got to be, but people know about that, it's not unknown, but that was something that totally took me out of my comfort zone, where I had to really tap into parts of me that have been asleep for so many, years, maybe forever, courage and backing myself and believing in something and dreaming and being big picture and all that sort of stuff that was really uncomfortable, but so rewarding. And then so after that, I got the bug. I was like, oh, what else can I do that's scary? So I've jumped out of a plane. I'm massively scared of heights. And one morning I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a bit stale. I want to do something to kind of rock my world. And at the time I was kind of experimenting with state management, that skill of being able to manage your state so that I can teach it more, not just talk about it, but actually teach it. So I was like, what can I do that will absolutely scare the beep out of me? And then this thought came through my mind, like, I could jump out of a plane. And so I did. And it was great because that whole experience was about me practicing what I preach about state management and being in charge of your mind and talking to yourself and managing your emotion. And it was one of the most amazing things I'd ever done, because I had never in a million years would I have thought that I could do that. And I did, and I enjoyed it and I loved it. So, and then, other things like, I don't know, walking on fire. You've done that a couple of times now, Cullen, with Tony Robbins, and doing ice baths and other things with Wim Hof and crazy things like that to really test the limits and challenge myself physically and mentally, which I now have the bug for and I just love to do. So that's it.
I love that. What's the next thrill-seeking experience that you'd want to try your hand at? Bungee jumping or
yeah, I think
hot air
that's
ballooning?
kind of, there's my comfort zone. There's my learning zone. I think bungee jumping might be right on the edge of that.
So, Lara, you and I might be doing something that pushes the boundaries sooner or later.
Possibly, yes, we are. So there'll be something to watch out for.
Oh, okay. This is a to be continued. There's definitely.
Yeah,
tell us, Pepe.
Cameo role there, man.
Okay. I'm excited about this. This is exciting, ladies. I know I've seen on the YouTube people bungee jumping and they pretend to throw a rope that's not attached just as they're jumping off, just to scare the person. It is pretty scary when people do that. But I'd like to bring a question in, because we are coming, I guess, towards the close, ladies. I used to ask this question on the story series back in the day. How would you like to be remembered when all is said and done? I guess starting with you, Pepe, when all is said and done, gets to the end of, touch wood, Perpetua Kish's life, how would you like to be remembered?
This is going to sound a bit corny, but I want to be remembered as someone who's sweet. I don't know, and I use that word. It's not a very used word these days, but just when I meet people who I think are sweet, it's somebody who isn't offensive in any way, and they kind of make you feel at peace and happy and with a bit of fun. There's something, sweets like lollies and cakes, and I like those things. So, a bit of fun and frivolity, Yeah, I'm a lot of fun, that. So, yeah, sweet and fun.
Absolutely. Sweet. I love that. Not keep sweet, because that's a documentary on Netflix that I think everyone should watch, but be sweet. I love that. Well done, Pepe. And same question to you there, Lara. What would you like to be remembered as?
I think I would really like to be remembered as somebody who, and this is more cliche and really corny stuff, but someone who made a difference to someone else's life, even if it's one person or two or three or however many, because I find that that's kind of why I do what I do. And so if I can leave that behind as a legacy, then I think I would have, I suppose, achieved my purpose.
Well, I can say hand on heart that you, Lara, have. You've left my life better than I found it. And same with you, Pepe. You're both, come on, but you're both sweet, and you leave everyone you meet better than you found them. And I think that's why I wanted to have you on the Law Live.
That's right. You leave a nice, it's not very good to say nice taste in your mouth, but that, it's lingering. It's a good feeling. And you're like that. You're, I like to use the word, I've never actually said this word before, I've written it, but ebullient. That's
what?
Ebullient.
Oh, we're gonna have. Can I have the origin of the word?
Can I have a vowel?
Can I find a friend?
Can you text me how to spell that later?
It just really
ebullient.
Life, yeah. And you're just somebody who. I remember that first time we met in Canberra at Sweet Bones. I'm seeing a theme
Sweet Bones, there is sweet. I love that.
Because we're both plant munchers, Cullen and me. We love our veggies.
Plant munchers.
We do. My brother says, if you love animals so much, Pepe and Cullen, why do you eat all their food? You know, we just love eating plants.
Oh, God.
Oh, you need to get Adrian Corbold on here to talk all things plant-based.
Oh, I'm sure. If anyone's not following Adrian Corbold, please do. His posts are quite interesting. And in his comments, I don't think I've ever seen him comment without linking it to an emoji or a video link from YouTube.
He's the fastest. He's the fastest person to come up with on like a YouTube video. I'm pretty fast, but he's like Zoom. So
yeah. No, I can't compete. And I don't understand most of the things that go up on there.
I'll make him watch. You get a mention at the end, but you got to watch all the way to the end.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, where can people find you, Pepe and Lara? Where can people best connect with you?
Pepe first.
LinkedIn,
Okay.
LinkedIn that, but also Balance Family Law on Instagram. The Kind Lawyer on Instagram, which I'm enlivening after a long absence, and www.balancefamilylaw.com.au. And we're also on Facebook, but I'm not a big fan of Facebook. But yeah, you can find us there too.
Fantastic.
Nice. Same sort of stuff for me. So LinkedIn is probably my my playground. I was going to say, when you said what's the biggest room in the world, I was going to say LinkedIn, but it's not. That's okay. And also look up Coaching Advocates, www.coachingadvocates.com, Instagram and Facebook.
Fantastic. Facebook's still got a place.
As well.
You can, Pepe.
So I'm also the co-vice chair of Connecting Lawyer Mums, which is formerly Criminal Law Mums. And for all the mums who are also lawyers, we're having an event in Melbourne on the 7th of October at the Melbourne Museum. And we would love to see you there and watch this space for more information.
Perfect. We'll put some notes about it so people can find it. Thanks so much, Pepe. Thanks, Lara. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. All right.
Thank you, Lara. And thank you for tuning in for another Law Live. We come out every Wednesday on Wednesdays, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, and then uploaded to where you get your podcasts. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon.